Hello there all my lovely jewelry makers, I'm Christina at CSLdesigns, and in today's video we're going to be doing a bit of a Temu haul, and this is actually going to be the first video, so there will be a second one as well, because there is quite a bit to go through and it's a bunch of different kinds of things, like beads, wire, chain, blanks to engrave on, all sorts of things like that. Now of course if you see anything throughout this that you like and want to have a look at yourself, you can check out the description box below the video. You'll find all the relevant links, along with the discount code as well. So I think we should just jump straight into it because I'm very curious about looking at some of these things in real life. So let's start with some beads. Now I'm not going to do any of these in any particular order, but just kind of jump around a bit to keep it interesting. So I wanted to do these beads first because I'm so excited to look at these in real life. So first of all, see if I can get this right. They are UV reactive Opalite glow stones. So that's what they're called. Let me just get them all out here. So what they are of course some gemstone beads. They're rounds and I have 4 different sizes. So we have 6mm, 8mm, 10mm and 12mm. And I purposely got kind of one in each size here because if they are as nice as I hope they are and they looked on the website, I can see wanting to use them in all the sizes, and then obviously you can even mix them up and use different sizes in the same piece. So as you maybe got from the title, it had UV reactive in there, so that should mean that these stones should react to UV light and basically glow, also hence the name glow stones. So that is what these are. So obviously just now they're just kind of grey with markings on them, different shades of grey and a little bit of brown here and there. But apparently the real magic should happen when you put UV light on them. So of course I'm going to try that. I just so happen to have a UV lamp by me. So I don't know obviously otherwise the circumstances, whether it has to maybe be dark or something. So I'm just going to try. Oh, and I am seeing a bit here, but I do think it needs to be dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get some separate footage of that and see if I can get it as good as I can on camera. And see if I can show you what it actually looks like. Because doing this, which you're not going to really be able to see, but I can see there is some glowing going on. So I'm going to try, like I said, get some footage of these beads in darkness, but then with the UV light on. And then hopefully we can get something from that. Because if it is true that they are going to do that, I am super excited for these beads. Because at a first glance, they kind of just look nice enough like any other gemstone, but obviously a little bit maybe on the boring side because they're grey and a little dull. But having that glow factor to them makes them super interesting and obviously stand out and definitely not boring anymore. So that's not to say that grey beads are always boring. They have their place, of course they do. But I'm just super excited about that glow effect. So let's see if that works out. And if it does, I'm definitely very interested in trying to use these in some pieces. And I'm definitely thinking design-wise, something then where it will help the beads really stand out and kind of show them off nicely. Obviously then because they have that kind of inner surprise if it actually does work. So hopefully by now you should have seen footage of if it works or not, and hopefully it does. But those were some of the beads. I think we should then go on to some blanks. So I got a couple more blanks here for engraving onto with lasers, and let's start with these. So these are some pendants. Again, let me just get these out and get rid of the plastic here. First one, second one, and finally, let's get the third one. So these are just like a round disc that then already have a hole in them and already have a little bail attached to them, also in the matching color of the pendant itself. So we have one in like a copper rose gold color, then we have one in rainbow. So both sides here are a bit different. This side has got far more kind of the gold. You got some pink and a little bit green on the outer edge. And then on the other side we have pink in the middle, a lot of that, and then some more bright green on the outer edge, a little bit of blue or purple peeking in. So I do love these rainbow ones, especially because they are so different also within the same piece. Even though this is one pendant and it's the same piece with the same coating, both sides are different from each other, so I do love that. And then the last one is a lovely blue coated one. I really love that blue metallic coating as well. And they all reflect so lovely in the light. So the purpose of these are to engrave onto using a laser, of course. And I just thought these were really nice, kind of just plain round ones instead of having some fancy shape or something. But the fact that they are different colors like this makes them a little bit different. And the fact they come with the bail already that matches, I really like that. And all you gotta do is obviously engrave what you want on them, and you can just put a chain in there and you have a necklace that's ready to go. So they are lovely and they seem like really nice quality. They're pretty thick. That is nice. And like I said, the coating of the different colors looks really nice. They're not scratched or anything. So I'm definitely going to use these and they're going to make some lovely pieces, I think. So I'm very pleased with them. Now next, to match those pendants a little bit, I didn't think of this ahead of time, but it kind of works out perfectly. I got some chain from there because I did mention that I really love that rainbow coating. I kind of love it on anything I can get. I have so many different things in my house in this rainbow coating. So cutlery, scissors, as you can tell, loads of stuff. And I saw this chain, which I really like the look of, and I thought that'd be perfect for things like that, where the pendant is rainbow coated, or you can get them in beads as well. So most often hematite is coated with that coating as well. But I just thought it'd be really lovely that you can actually then match the chain to the piece instead of, say, adding a silver chain to that rainbow coating, which will work perfectly fine. But I just like the option of being able to add, if I can get it out here, a matching chain so the whole piece is this rainbow coating. Whee! Finally. And therefore I saw this chain and thought that is perfect. Now I do already have some chain with this coating, but I've had it for a long time and I've never used it yet, and I think this is because it's quite chunky. But this is more of a kind of normal size chain, I would say, like a general all-round good size. So that's why I thought this would be handy to have, because the chunky one, for instance, would be a little bit much for that pendant especially as well, and a bit much for most things in general. So I thought this would work out perfect for that. And if I just maybe bring that back in, let's try it out, shall we? Put the pendant on the chain, and then we have a complete piece. Obviously we just need a clasp as well, which you can also get in this coating. So you can literally make the whole piece with this rainbow coating. So that's definitely something I'll be doing. I'm really pleased with this chain. You get a reel here. There's quite a few meters on there, I think. Yeah, I just checked and it should be about 5 meters on this reel. So that should last a decent while. And definitely make multiple necklaces or whatever you want to use it for. So that is the chain, and you can see it just keeps on with that rainbow coating, and it just kind of changes throughout as you move along the chain and you move it in the light as well. So I'm really pleased with that. That is a lovely quality and also a really nice size, perfect for necklaces, I would say. So I'm very pleased with that. Next, let's look at some more beads. So I also got some of these here. Now let me just try and remember right. Sugilite, yeah. I got these previously and I got them again because I really love them. So again, let me just get them all out. This is what they look like. So they are a lovely purple, well technically multiple purples, multiple shades of purple rather. And I just really like them. So in some of my previous videos for Temu here, I got these as well. So if you haven't seen that, I'll link them in the description box down below. But I just literally fell for these because they are so lovely. And I'm not even sure it's going to come across on camera, but of course the colors I really love because purple is my favorite color, if you maybe couldn't guess. But first of all, the different hues of purple here all mixed together. But there's something about them as well that they're just so juicy looking. And they kind of have this, in a way, this inner glow without having an actual glow. It's hard to describe, but there's just something about them that I really like. And there is 6mm, 8mm and 10mm, again the different sizes, just so I have options for when I want to use them, so I'm not limited to just the one size. And these beads were kind of the ones for me where, do you ever have that where you get some beads, for instance, and you really, really like them and you want to use them, but you know if you use them, you'll then not have them anymore. And that kind of makes you not use them, even though you want to use them. These beads are kind of that for me, so I wanted to get some more so I actually can use them. So I don't feel like then I don't have any left if I use them up. But now, because I have a few more, I'm going to feel more comfortable actually using them in some pieces because I really, really want to. I really love the way that these look. They're just so juicy and delicious looking. And of course, like I said, purple is just me all over. And I've never seen anything quite like these beads here. So yeah, I just fell for them and I just needed to get some more. Now speaking of purple, I also got some wire because I've been getting a little bit different wire from Temu recently as well, because I want to try and work with different kinds of wire than just the basic regular round wire that I mostly work with. I'm not going to stop working with that, but I just want to try and incorporate some other kinds of wire as well. So I got this, that is a colored wire, and as you can see, it is bright purple and it's absolutely gorgeous. Now this is an aluminium wire, so it should be pretty nice and soft to work with as well. And I think it was a 1mm, yep. And you get 10 meters, so that is pretty good as well. Because I feel like for something like this, you're not necessarily going to want to use that much at a time. It's more of an accent to add to a piece, I think. Especially for instance in braided wire pieces. Adding an accent of this along with other wire, for instance silver, that would be really lovely and just kind of make it stand out. So that's my first thought, but of course I'm going to play around with it and see what I can come up with. But also with it being aluminium, it's going to be really nice and easy to work with, which sometimes obviously you want to be careful where you use soft wire because you don't want to make a finished piece that can bend too easily. But that's where, say, combining this with the regular wire that I use that's a little bit stronger than this could also then work out well by giving the piece extra strength while still using this wire. So I'm really excited to try that out, and this is an absolutely beautiful color. I'm very pleased with this. Nice quality all over, feels nice and smooth. So yeah, I'm pleased with that as well. A nice purple wire, you can't go wrong with that. Next, let's have a look at some more blanks. Now these ones here are bracelet blanks, so let's just release them from their prison as well. Two of the thicker size, as you can tell, and then we have two of the thinner size. So these ones here are wider, so obviously that'll give you more space to engrave onto, which is again the purpose with these. But these ones here are narrow, so they're a little bit finer. So if you kind of imagine them on your wrist. Now this will obviously give you a wider look to it, but you also, like I said, have a lot more space to engrave onto, and for that matter also being able to see it maybe better, so you can make it bigger if you want to. But then this one here is narrower, so we'll give a little bit of a finer result for the final bracelet. But of course it also limits you a little bit in the size you can engrave, but that's why I kind of wanted to get both, so you have that choice between the two. Now these ones are aluminium, and in case you're wondering, they are not blue, they are silver. Just plain aluminium like that. This is just a protective plastic thing on it. You obviously just take that off before you engrave onto it. But nice and plain silver, so there'll be some nice engraving onto them, and you'll end up with a lovely final and elegant piece. And these obviously you'll then use like a bracelet shaper or something to shape it into the final bracelet. There's no clasp because this will then just be like a bangle that you put on and off, slide it over your wrist, where the opening, once it's shaped, will be on the other side, of course. So also nice and easy to take on and off. So that is the purpose with these here. I've been wanting to do some more bracelet engraving for a while, so I thought why not take the chance and get some more so I can play around with that a bit more. Now onto some more beads. I also got some classic Labradorite, you could call it. They seem classic to me anyway because it's a really nice gemstone that you can't really go wrong with. And there's just something so special and beautiful about these stones as well. So of course the base color again is grey, like the first ones we looked at, but they're usually a little bit lighter and more delicate. But the difference is these have a glow and just glow with color, but they just naturally do it all the time. And as you move them in the light as well, now these are really beautiful. They are lovely quality. You can see as I'm moving them, it's just glowing and it's moving around in there. You have blue, you have the kind of yellowy, you have some green, All the typical colours of Labradorite. They are lovely, and you've got glow all around on the beads, and I'm pretty sure it's on all of them, to be honest. I'm not really seeing any beads that doesn't have any glow at all. They are lovely. So again, that is, I think that's 4mm, 6mm and 8mm, and they all look absolutely beautiful. So they are very nice quality. Wow, you can see right there, just that internal glow but with colour. That is very beautiful. I love Labradorite personally, and like I said, it's a stone you can't go wrong with. It's classic looking. At the same time, it creates so much interest because of that internal glow with colour, that shimmer, and it's just so beautiful. It's the kind of stone I can just sit and look at for ages and not get bored with. So yeah, they are very lovely. And again, of course, the different sizes, just to not be restricted, so you can first of all be more likely to have a size that you want to use in a design, so you don't have to choose a different bead, but you actually have the bead you need. Or also, like previously, mix them together in the same piece. That can create some really interesting final results. So those are some of the beads, and so far I'm really happy with all of them. Everything seems really lovely quality. Now let's get back to some wire. So I got some copper wire as well, because first of all I wanted to try it out and see what it was like, but also I kind of want to work a little bit more with bare copper wire, where you can then, for instance, oxidize it as well, and you get a completely different look than, say, using the normal wire that I use. You can't oxidize that because it has protective coating on it, which has the purpose of preventing the oxidization. So of course you'll use that when you don't want a piece to oxidize, but then you can use bare copper wire here when you purposely want to either let it oxidize, or you can purposely create a mixture that makes it oxidize, and you can get it to exactly the point that you like the look of. You can then polish it up, and it does really look great on a lot of specific pieces. I personally really like to oxidize pieces that have a lot of texture to them. I think the oxidization then really helps emphasize that texture and creates a more interesting look. So that's why I personally like to use oxidization, and for that obviously you need to use a bare wire that doesn't have that protective coating. So the small one here is actually a half round wire, so it's bare copper but a half round. So you'll usually use this as kind of a weaving wire, but differently than just a regular fully round weaving wire, because basically if you imagine a round weaving wire, but then this is half round, so it's, imagine, cut down the middle, and it's only the one side of it, so it's round on one side and then has a flat side, which is usually the side you'll then put against the base wire. Often that can be square wire, but also regular round wire, and it'll just sit and hug the base wire differently, and you can get some really interesting and nice final looks. And this is also, I can tell it's a little bit harder, so you can kind of just tell when it has that extra tension and springiness to it. So this is definitely gonna be interesting to work with. I have worked with half round wire a little bit, but it's very, very little, and it's a long time ago. So I wanted to try that out again and use it in the bare copper version, which I haven't done. So of course I can then use this half round as the weaving wire basically on this base wire here. That is a 16 gauge, so a 1.3mm, so that's a decent size as well, but it's still malleable enough to work with easily enough, and of course using pliers as well. So that's some more wire to play around with, and actually those two would also go well together, actually incorporating them together in the same piece. So of course you can always play around with that. And now we have one thing left to look at for this video here. So that is a strand of beads, and these are Fluorite, and they are 6mm. 6mm is definitely one of, if not the most used size of mine, and I do love Fluorite. I love that variation in the different colors but mixed together, and they just go so well together as well. So you can literally use them as they are, but they'll look great in a piece even though you have different colors mixed together. So of course you got the base of it that's green, different shades of green, and you got some clarity to the stones as well. And then you have your typical purple, which is what's mixed in and kind of makes it Fluorite. You have some lighter purples, medium purples, and then some dark ones up here. And I just think the mix of all of this together is so beautiful. I do love Fluorite in general. It's a very beautiful stone. and I think can look so elegant if you say mix it with silver wire. So that is the final strand. Very beautiful as well. So I'm very impressed and pleased with all of the stones in this video here. I can definitely highly recommend having a look at that if you find any of it interesting yourself, of course along with the other pieces. Now don't forget the links will be in the description box down below, and also there will be a part 2, so make sure to keep an eye out for that on my channel. It will be up very soon, and if it's already available it will be linked in the description box down below. Otherwise, as a recap, like I pretty much said throughout, I'm really pleased with all of these things and impressed with the quality, and I can't wait to use some of this and play around with some new designs. And then thank you so much to Temu for sending me this and letting me try out a bunch of these things, especially all the delicious beads. And I've definitely discovered some new things that I've never seen before and I'm very intrigued by. But otherwise, I really hope you enjoyed coming along with me as I opened everything up and started getting all the ideas flowing with all the beads and the wire and things like that. So thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.